Good morning. Look at all that's going to bloom here. Imagine all of these opened up. If one of them opens up to this, how much will they all open up to? Look at this, dozens of them. And little ones coming along here to show up in a few weeks' time when the others have done their service. Wow, look at this bunch here. And each one of them, and there's still a lot to come here, is going to show all this splendor. And I think this is very connected to today. Today, here in the Holy Land, we're celebrating the Feast of the Ascension. And also in many other parts of the world. I know that in Europe, in Germany, and Switzerland, for example, they're celebrating the Ascension. For a good reason, also the celebration is deferred in many churches until Sunday, when it's easier for more people to celebrate, gather together as a community and to celebrate this amazing feast. It's a great feast. It's a victory for humanity. It's our victory, and it can't be taken from us. It's just, in this sense, amazing. And it de-dramatizes all of the reality in this world. And it fulfills the dreams way beyond the dream of that Greek guy who wanted to fly. I remember, I forget his name right now, it just came to mind. And it was the title of one of my first projects in high school was From Dream to Reality. And I covered that story of flight and the development then of flight with the Wright brothers and all the rest of the story. And the human heart is longing for this. And even people today talk about, in a very secular way, the next level of evolution. Well, this is like way beyond evolution. And it's for real. The access to the reality of it is through our faith. But our faith is real. It's not make-believe. There you can use the words, the issue of credibility, incredulous, incredible. It is credible, precisely. It is credible, and it is the gift of our faith, and it's the reason for our faith, and it's the horizon of our faith. And we're 40 days from the resurrection. And that's when this moment that closes the typical appearances of Jesus risen for the community of the church. And now the faith is so anchored in these members that they will continue relaying the faith from generation to generation, transmitting the faith. Just like Abraham from generation to generation, to Isaac, to Jacob, to the 12 sons, and so on down the line, from generation to generation. And this is our faith, and this is the faith we live by. This is the faith we build our lives on. This is the faith that orients us in how we see the world. And all of the sufferings and all of the issues, all of the challenges, all of the problems of humanity receive wonderful new light through this mystery of the ascension into heaven. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Because if human nature is going to be glorified, we have the glory of the celebrities and of the sports, accomplishments and of many accomplishments in many areas of human endeavor. But this is like way beyond what we can accomplish, but it's destined for us. And it's made available to us. A practical, technical thing is, since this is celebrated on Sunday in many countries, and the link I give you is from the USCCB in the United States, so the majority of the United States celebrates this feast day on Sunday. It's deferred to the coming Sunday, whereas we will be celebrating the 7th Sunday of Easter here, and in those countries who celebrate the Ascension today, on this historical day of the Ascension, 40 days after the celebration of the Resurrection. Then you can check on the reading link and you will be able to switch to the Ascension, the readings for the Ascension. And we live in the time of the Ascension as we do live in the time of the Resurrection, as we do live in the time of the Incarnation. These are irreversible. And we do live in the incredible manifestation of love revealed on Good Friday. And these are irreversible facts, historical facts that happened on this earth in human nature. And that's why we have such a claim to it. That's why it's such a gift for us. That's why it's such a revolution. And this is the ultimate justification of the entire Christian life. That we're already living with the Father in the fullness of that experience of the ascended Jesus to the right hand of the Father, and of all entering glory. This is a marvelous gift. A marvelous gift. Our next aspiration is more than fulfilled. The little aspirations we have are just a shadow of what's going to be given to us. I made a mistake the other day talking about trees, and I'm wondering if this is the one that I was mistaken about. Somebody pointed out, because I was explaining this and somebody sent me an explanation. I think it was this tree, and then I thought they were talking about the Ponciana tree with those red flowers that we saw a few minutes ago at the beginning of this little live stream. I'm really excited about the Ascension. It's a union of human nature with the Father, the source of all goodness, the source of all creation, a union that we could never have dreamed of, a union that's way beyond our imagination. And yet we were made for this. And it's a frustration of human nature not to receive this definitively. And it's a frustration of human nature right now to be separated from the Father, and particularly if it's done by our will. And that's basically the nature of sin, to turn from God, to do wrong, to crush those made in his image and likeness. That's an alienation of our true nature and purpose, because we're made in his image and likeness. And therefore we should live in extraordinary and beautiful union with the Father, like children and parents should be united. And we know the frustrations of those relationships, that are so frequent in our time, but also plagued humanity throughout history. We belong to each other. We belong to the Father. I wonder if this is the tree that we were talking about. Most of the blossoms have fallen. You remember a few days ago I was talking about this tree? It was Tipuan or something like this is the name that was explained to me. I presume this is the tree because that's where I spend time sharing with you. And so from now on, we're looking at that level, not in a way that minimizes our responsibility for the urgent issues that fill our hearts with compassion in this world, but our focal point is in this eternal glory, in the union with the Father eternally. And this is where we're headed with our resurrection. This is for what we were created. These seem to have gone beyond their heyday. They're withering a little. There seem to be still some buds coming. Or maybe they're what's left over from the blossoms, the earlier blossoms. Some down low here, easier to get to. It also re-dramatizes, if it de-dramatizes our troubles, it re-dramatizes our purpose. It re-dramatizes our purpose. It increases our purpose. It highlights our purpose. And this is why we have this beautiful reading there are a bunch of readings in this area because the whole New Testament is fired by this awareness and this horizon. Let's go to the reading here. So we know the story of the Ascension. It's told by Luke at the end of his Gospel and at the beginning of the Acts of the Apostles, which are the readings we have also. But the second reading then is from Ephesians, as far as I remember. Just pulling it up here, yes. And we are praying in this reading for the eyes of our hearts to be enlightened, that we may know what is the hope that belongs to his call, what are the riches of glory in his inheritance among the holy ones, what is the surpassing greatness of his power for us who believe. And so also our responsibility for our brothers and sisters, am I my brother's keeper, has a new power through the Ascension. I want all of my brothers and sisters to participate in this eternal glory. You know, we have a horizon that obviously has its reasons. As a child, on the farm, I buried animals that had died and they were put into the ground. And this is also the lot of humanity. The Jewish people actually have a very, I'm not sure about the Muslims, but the Jewish people have a very, very drastic way of burial for our Western sensitivity. They are buried directly in the earth without a coffin. And so this finality and this reintegration of our bodily reality into the dust of the earth from which we come is very powerfully expressed. But that's not our definition. That's our temporary reality. Our definition is much, it's just a whole other level. And the Ascension brings that definition. And we can be very limited by our experience that what we see when an animal dies, and what we have the sad moments of burying our relatives. I remember at the burial of my mom, then of my dad. Those are very sad moments. And this is where the glory of the ascension comes in to play. This text is so powerful from Ephesians. There's another one in Colossians, to seek the things that are above. What is the surpassing greatness of his power for us who believe, in accord with the exercise of his great might? Good morning. I'm doing my live stream every morning.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were doing the broadcasting. That's why I work kind of.
No, you're okay. I mean, if you want to, you can say hello to the people, but I don't want to impose that on you.
Oh yeah, no, that's so cool.
You'd like to do that?
Okay, yeah.
So you have to remind me of your first names again.
Julia.
Juliet.
Minu.
Juliet and?
Julia and Minu.
Minu. Minu, where's that name from? What culture?
Oh, that's from the Korea.
From Korea. Kamsamnida.
감사합니다.
You're also Korean?
I'm second generation Korean.
Ah, very good. Excellent. What do you think of this sunrise here at the Sea of Galilee?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful.
Now, you came with the group from Texas yesterday, right?
Texas and Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma. You're not the Oklahoma ones, are you?
Yeah, the Oklahoma.
Ah, you're the Oklahoma ones. Because then afterwards I realized there was just one group from one couple from Oklahoma from the whole group. So that really mentioned the whole reality. But I'm happy to meet these Oklahoman Koreans.
Yes, that's right.
And what's your first impression? Is this your first time in the Holy Land?
Yes.
So you have to share your first impression. Just 1 minute, because I'm probably over time by now.
It is so peaceful, and I just feel the presence of Jesus. And to be able to walk in his footsteps is just an undescribable experience. It is such a beautiful place, and it's our 20th anniversary, and so
Congratulations.
it's a blessing that we can do it together. And
Congratulations.
So we highly recommend to come. And
But do you have to
visit
wait
here.
until your 20th anniversary to
No.
come? And if you missed your
No.
20th anniversary, can you still come?
Yes. Your birthday. Right? Every day is your birthday. So come.
So what's your spot?
My impression today was a really awesome day because it was a little overcasted with a cloudy a little bit, but the whenever sun is coming in, I mean, we know the sun is there behind the cloud, you know, but whenever it's coming in, it makes almost like a shape of a crown, and you know, once it comes up, you know, and
Is that why the Beatles are so right? Here comes the sun, it's all right.
and the reading of this morning was very fitting with the, you know, the presence of the Lord and the
Yes.
power, you know,
Yes.
the salvation and
Yes.
you know, the saving us from the darkness, right? So,
Well, we didn't have that reading because actually here in the Holy Land we're celebrating the Ascension today. And so then we have, where we actually talked about this fact, and it's actually totally in sync. It's totally in sync with the Ascension thought.
Okay.
You know, and actually one of the words we were talking about a lot here was God's power that brings us to this whole new level. Well, that's just wonderful. Thank you for joining in and this beautiful sunrise moment. And so we say goodbye. We'll do a little selfie moment. That's kind of a typical thing I do at the end here. People, we wish you all a happy Ascension feast day if you're celebrating today or a Sunday, or you could celebrate the whole time. And we pray for you and wish you the best. God bless you. See you later, alligators.
God bless you.